We're holding Be'ezras Hashem Siman Pei Aleph and haGuela B'al Tamura, and he's talking about the disadvantages of taking money from others. He started the subject in Siman Pei, and there he discussed, it's all one long hemshech from Siman Pei until Siman Pei Gimel. All these four siman go together. Basically, he's talking about the Indian of taking money from the Zionists, taking money from people who influences you. So he says like this: V'ragil ani lefarish ma'amar Gemara, Beit Daf Lamed Beis, Hamitzape l'shulchan acherim, olam chashach ba'adoi. That I explained using this concept of taking money influences you with the giver's influences, and it makes you blind to other things. With that, I can explain this Gemara. The Gemara says that if someone is relying on another person's support, the world becomes dark for him. Why is this thing considered the world becomes dark? Like why is this the tragedy that we characterize with these words, the world is dark? There's worse things that could happen to a person. I mean, being dependent on others is pretty bad, but there's things that could happen. People could die. People could, people's life could go wrong in a lot of ways. So why is this the way that's considered the world is dark for you? So he says, that if you take from others, then you become bribed to all the people that you rely upon. In other words, you want to become like them, right? You want to become, you follow their views. The bribe blinds the eye of the wise. The Amruzal, the Gemara in Ksubas, but when it talks about the issue of taking bribes, it blinds the eyes of those who accept it. And that explains why the world becomes dark. Why? He's dark like a blind man. You can't see the light. You can't see the proper way to go. I explained in a joking way the statement of Chazal B'Maseches Brachos Daf Vav Amud Beis, Kivan shenitzarich Adam lebrius panav mishtanos kekrum. When a person needs to come on to other people and take from other people, his face changes like a krum, which is a bird. The Gemara says, "My krum oif echad yesh b'krachi hayam ukrum shmoi." There's a bird that has the name krum. V'kivan shehachama zarachas. When the sun shines on its feathers, mishapich l'chama gevanim. It changes colors.
Is it a special name for the bird?
I don't know. Yeah. Else, maybe a parrot. I don't know. So harei da nitzrach lebrius gam kein panav mishtanos the mishtanim l'chama gevanim. The face of a person who needs to take from others also changes colors. But v'sasmu Chazal divreim v'loi bi'aru le'ezeh gevanim mishtana panav. Chazal don't say what color it changes. It changes colors, but what color does it change? So Zak the Rebbe, v'nireh shehad nishtana b'chol pam le'oisei ha'givon shel ha'noisein. It changes to the color of the giver. He's like a chameleon. He becomes like whoever gives him money. He becomes like him. V'alkein koicha shel hanoah kroiva liyos meshuchra deileha. The power of having hanoah from someone else is like a shochad. It's like a bribe. The kol shekein hamakabel v'nen miminim v'oiv de'avodah zara. If someone accepts money from someone who's a min, like if you accept from a regular person who's not a min, all right, it's not the best thing, but at least you're not going to be a min, but it will affect you. It will make you become more like them. If their political views, whatever it is, if it's nothing to do with Torah and Emunah, okay, but you'll accept some of their views, right? But here, you're going to actually become like the minim and avodah zara. V'shani minas the mashcha. Minas is an attractive thing today. It has the Yetzer Hara today, unlike Avodah Zarah. And therefore, bevadai shenasa doim elahem. Take from them, you're going to become like them. The shutaf l'deyaseim, Rachmana litzlan. You're going to become a partner in their viewpoints. Pirashti b'zeh b'chag Shavuos to all oleinu l'toiva. The Rebbe says on Shavuos, these whole, these four drashas that make up the Sefer haGuela were given on Nosai, Ba'alois Chashlach, and Korach of the year 1967. And Shavuos fell that year between Nosai and Ba'aloischa. So, in the drasha of Shavuos, Rebbe says, I explained the Divrei HaPsikta, the Rus. It says in the Psikta of Rus. I don't know what he means by the Psikta of Rus, but I found it in the Medrash Rabbah, the regular Medrash Rabbah on Rus. It says, Al telchi lilkoit b'sadeh acher. That Boaz said to Rus, Rus came to collect leket, shicha, and peah in the fields of Boaz, together with the other poor people. So Boaz met Rus and said to her, don't go and collect in anyone else's field. So why did he say that? So the Medrash darshans, Al Shem lo yiyah lecha Elohim acherim. He was telling her remez. He was telling her, don't go to another field, meaning don't go and serve another god. Don't do avodah zarah. V'gam lo yisah vuri mizeh. And Boaz continues and says, don't go away from zeh, from this. So Al Shem zeh keli v'anvehu. This refers to the mitzvah of making a beautiful mitzvah, like making beautiful esrog and lulav and tefillin, making your mitzvahs beautiful. So don't depart from that. Keep that mitzvah. He's telling her because she was just Megayer. He was telling her all the rules of Yiddishkeit. You shall cling to my servant girls. So he says, Al Shem v'atem advekim. Tidbakin is similar to dvekim. So he's saying, just like it says, Moshe Rabbeinu said, Atem advekim b'Hashem Elokechem v'chaim kulchem hayom. You who cling to Hashem will be alive today. So same thing. He's telling her, cling to Hashem. The imna roisai, cling to my servant girls. Elu hat tzadikim, cling to the tzadikim. Ad kan. Okay, so he's educating her about Judaism. The problem is, v'lechoira ma inyan azharas elu l'pashtus hakosiv. This has nothing to do with the Pashup Pshat. It's a medrash, very nice medrash, but how do we see that this is connected at all to what Boaz really said? What Boaz really said to Rus was, don't go and pick leket in any other field and stick together with the girls in my field. What does that have to do with all the things these lessons about avodah zarah? Why did Chazal darshan something here that has nothing to do with the Pashup Pshat? But according to the way we're learning, according to what we've been saying up till now, we said taking money from someone causes you to be influenced by them. So Yuvan, we understand, Ki Boaz hatzadik limdor das v'derech ba'avodas Hashem. Boaz was trying to teach Rus something about avodas Hashem. V'hu iker gadol. It's a very important thing. Shechai hanefesh tuluyim ba. That the life of someone's soul, his spiritual health, is dependent upon. V'hizir oisad the af haleket shichu peah. He says, even when you take leket shichu peah, shemuv karim la'aniyim, that they're hefker. So seemingly one might think you're not going to be influenced by it. They're hefker. They don't belong to anybody. They're free to take. But he says, no. Lo sito lo isa misad shel rishayim. Don't collect leket from a field belonging to a rasha. Why? Ki yikne kinyan upoyel rab b'nafsha. Because it will cause her to, in her soul, to absorb the bad qualities of the rasha. If she goes to Jews who are worshipping avodah zarah or heretics and she collects their leket, yachol lifol b'nafsha. It could have an effect on her soul. Ad k'dei kach she'tiviyehu chas v'shalom la'avoid Elohim acherim. That it will bring her to doing avodah zarah, to be like the givers. So Interesting thing. People know about this Indian of not taking money from a shayin, but people think it means when the Rasha actually gives you money and says personally to you, "Here you go, here's money," and then tomorrow he's gonna influence you. But here the Rebbe is saying, even if he's mafkir it, he puts it down on the ground, he drops it, and the Torah says leka is hefker, still it is going to influence you. Okay, the amadabik b'toivim. But on the converse, if you go and you cling to good people, the tzaddikim, you go to the tzaddikim, like Naroi Sai, Elu tzaddikim, zoichel lehidavek b'shchina. You're going to come to cling to the shchina, by taking their money. Now we understand how the Medrash connects these two things. All these warnings, all these mitzvahs that Boaz taught her, he's here Boaz al telchi lilkoit besada acher al shem lo yelcho alim acherim. Why? It is likely to come to do avodah zarah because you're taking money from those who do avodah zarah. And really, Boaz didn't have to tell Ruth this because Ruth understood it on her own. How do you see that? Chazal say in the Gemara, Daf Kuf Yud Gimel on base in Shabbos, the very first time that Ruth went out to collect, she told Naomi, "I'm going to go collect leket," right? So Naomi said, "Fine, lechi biti, go and collect." So she said, it says, "Vatelech vatavoy." She went and she came and she collected in the field. It's a little bit extra, right? What does it say about she went and she came? So on Rabbi Lazar, shahalcha uba, halcha uba. She was going and coming and going and coming. Ad shematzta b'nei adam ham huganim leilechi mahem, until she found people that were worthy of going with her, that people that that she could would be good influence on her. The darshu zal, the drasha here that Chazal make is miyitar alashans, from the extra word. The havelei member vatelech vatalakid. It should just say she went and she collected. Umay vatelech vatavoy vatalakid. What does it mean? She went and came. Elamai, she went and came back and forth a few times. The question is though, loy halcha rak b'stei boyaz. The pasuk just sounds like she went to the field of Boaz. She didn't go around to the whole neighborhood trying everybody else's field. She went to Boaz's field. Kikein siva aleha Naomi chamoisa. Naomi commanded her to do that. Now, really, Naomi didn't say beferish to Ruth, go to Boaz's field. The pasuk just says Naomi had a relative of her husband whose name was Boaz. And then it says she went to a field, and then it turned out to be Boaz's field. And then later on, when she came back to Naomi told her, "That's good. You're in a good place. You're with my relative Boaz," right? So Naomi didn't command her, but it means that Naomi was happy with her going there. So once she went one time, and Naomi was happy with her, why did she have to keep going back and forth so many times? Let's see. The so what was the problem, Elamai, right? What was the problem? That Ruth was going in Boaz's field, but she was looking for people that were good to go with. Boaz had lots of fields. He had a few square miles of property, lots of servants, lots of workers. So when Ruth was collecting, she went and came and went to different collectors every time. In Boaz's field, but different collectors. So the question is, that anybody who's a tzaddik, all his workers are tzaddikim. So everybody in Boaz's field was tzaddikim. So why did Ruth have to come and go so many times? Until she found people who were worthy, who were good influence on her. According to this rule, everybody in Boaz's field should have been tzaddikim. Omnam Rus hatzadekes hevina. Rus understood she'ein lameidim min haklalos b'kagoyin da. In a case like this, when it involves your own spiritual health, you can't learn from the klal. You can't rely on the rule that everybody's a tzaddik. You have to actually check it out. Why? This is a very important question. You got to be in a place that's spiritually healthy for you. You can't just rely on chazakas. So he says, that if you're in the wrong place, you'll be influenced by them. And therefore you have to be very careful who you join up with. She went many times to Boaz's field until she found people that were good to go with. And she knew that they were good. I explained this difficult statement of Reb Chassa in the Medrash. It says, Yishalim Hashem pa'alech. Temuah means it's like surprising or difficult. There's a problem with it. You'll see what the problem is in a second. Yishalim Hashem pa'alech. The pasuk says that Boaz told Rus, may Hashem repay your deeds, usihi maskurtech shlema, and let your reward be complete. Me'im Hashem Elokei Israel, from Hashem, asher bas lachsois tachas knafav, that you have come to shelter under his wings, meaning to be Megayer. Amar Rabbi Chassa, so on that pasuk, Rabbi Chassa said, asher bas lachsois tachas knafav, that you came to shelter under his wings. So he's just repeating the pasuk, right? So that's the problem. All the Mefarshim are bothered by this question. What is Reb Chassa saying that the pasuk doesn't say? What do the Mefarshim say in a minute? I'll show you in a minute what they say, but let's just read what he says first. He says, according to what we're learning now, we could say pshat, that Reb Chassa is teaching us something. But bir pasuk, to explain the pasuk. The al-kain, because of this, tiyeh maskurta shlema, her reward will be great. Tachas asher bas, because she came to shelter under the Shekhinah. What does that mean? It's the word bas is the main word here. You have to put the stress on that word. So her reward should be complete. Why? Because asher bas, because you came. Like we explained before, vatelech vatavoy vatelakit basada. She came and went and came and went. Because you were so careful in picking good people to be with, therefore your reward shall be complete. She was careful with her coming, to go with people who are good. She proves with this that when she came to be Megayer, she wasn't coming for ulterior motives, she was coming only to come under the wings of the Shekhinah. She was not coming to shelter under the Rishaim and people who do Avodah Zarah. Just to get context, look at this Medrash inside. Bottom of the right hand column. Yishalim Hashem pa'alech usihi maskurtech shlema me'im Hashem. Reb Chassa asher bas lachsois tachas knafav. Basically, he just finishes off the pasuk. Doesn't say anything new. So the Mefarshim come up with something here. Look at the Marzu. Left side here. Where is it? In Rabbi Chassa, Kan Chaser. He says there's something missing here in the text. The Kain Sarach Lios. Rabbi Chassa, Shlema Yes Charcha. Shloima Yes Charcha. Pir Shloima HaMelech. The drasha of Rabbi Chassa is missing from the Medrash. Rabbi Chassa really meant to say that her reward should be Shlomo Melech. He darshan Shlema like Shlomo. Okay? So, because Rus was the grandmother of David Melech and Shlomo Melech. So therefore, her reward should be Shlomo Melech. And then, Umash Kasav Asher Bas Lachsos Tachas Knafov, that second piece of the pasuk is coming for the next drasha. Asher Bas Lachsos Tachas Knafov, on Rabbi Avun, Shomanu Sheyesh Knafayim La'aretz. And so on. You see what the Gemara, what the Medrash says. So, it's a separate piece. It's not part of the shtickle with Rebbe Chasa. Oh, but the Rebbe is learning shot that Asher Bas, meaning you came, because you came and were picky about who you hang out with, therefore Boaz told her you're going to have a complete reward.